Have you ever wondered if it's possible to use the internet without, someone constantly looking over your shoulder? Well, today we're going to dive into a technology that promises just that. It's called TOR.
I mean, really think about that for a second. What if every single search, every click, every message you sent was actually truly private? Because let's be honest right now, it's really not. You see, everything starts with this one little thing, your IP address. Every single thing you do online is tied to this unique identifier. Think of it like a digital fingerprint or a return address stamped on all your activity.
And it gets even more personal. That IP address, it doesn't just point to your computer. It can pinpoint your physical location, sometimes right down to your city or even your neighborhood.
So when you put all of that together, your IP, your location, you get your identity. Websites, internet service providers, they can build this incredibly detailed picture of exactly who you are. But what if there was a way to totally scramble that picture?
So let's look at how this works. On the left, that's your typical internet connection. It's a straight shot from you to the website. Super direct, super efficient, and also super easy to track. But on the right, that's what browsing with Tor looks like. It's this messy, tangled path, on purpose. And believe it or not, that mess is where the magic of anonymity really happens. Okay, so how does that tangled path actually work? The whole idea behind Tor is built on a metaphor that's actually pretty simple. An onion. Yep, an onion. It's all about creating layers of privacy to protect what's at the very center. In fact, TOR literally stands for the onion router. And here's a little bit of trivia for you. This wasn't cooked up in some hacker's basement. It was actually developed way back in the mid-90s by the U.S. Naval Research Lab. Why? To protect their own intelligence communications. The core idea was to wrap data in multiple layers of encryption, kind of like the layers of an onion, making it basically impossible for any single observer to see the whole picture. And that's the absolute genius of it. Each layer hides the one before it. So as your data is hopping around the world, each stop on the journey only peels back one single layer. It reveals just enough information to know where to send it next, and absolutely nothing more. So what does this packet's journey actually look like in practice? Let's follow a little piece of your data as it goes on this anonymous trip through the Tor network. It really boils down to 4 key steps. First, your data gets encrypted. Then it enters the network. After that, it gets relayed, or bounced around, through the network. And finally, it exits the network and goes to its destination.
Okay, first stop, the entry node. Think of this as the bouncer at the club. It knows you've arrived, it sees your real IP address. But because of all that encryption, it has absolutely no idea where you're trying to go inside the club. From there, your data gets passed to at least one relay node. Now this guy is the ultimate middleman. He's totally in the dark. All he knows is that some data came from another Tor computer, and he's supposed to pass it along to the next Tor computer. He doesn't know the origin, and he doesn't know the final destination. And finally, we reach the exit node. This is the last stop. This is where the final layer of that onion is peeled back, and your request pops out onto the public internet. Now here's the crucial part. The website you're visiting, it sees the request coming from the exit node's IP address, not yours. To that website, you look like you're wherever that exit node is. Your real identity is completely hidden. So you might be asking, how does this whole chain of command actually keep you anonymous? Well, it all comes down to one really clever, fundamental security principle. And this, right here, is the secret sauce to Tor's power. There is no single point of knowledge. No single computer in that entire chain knows both who you are and where you're going. The system is designed to break that link, making it almost impossible to trace the full path from start to finish. And you can see it laid out perfectly right here. The entry node, it knows your IP, sure, but not your destination. The relay node, it knows neither, it's blind. And the exit node, it knows where you're going, but it has no clue who you are. For someone to track you, they'd have to control multiple random computers in this global network at the exact same time, which, as you can imagine, is incredibly difficult to do. Okay, so this sounds pretty powerful, but who's actually using this stuff, and what are the limits? It's really important to get that Tor is a tool used by a ton of different people for completely legitimate and often vital reasons. We're talking about journalists in dangerous places trying to protect their anonymous sources. We're talking about regular citizens living under oppressive governments who need to get around censorship to access basic information.
It's used by researchers, by privacy advocates, and honestly, it's for anyone who just believes that what they do online is their own business and not some product to be collected and sold.
But, and this is a really big but, let's be crystal clear about something. As amazing as TOR is for anonymity, it is not some kind of magic invisibility cloak. It's a tool, not a magic shield.
Just because you're using TOR, that doesn't suddenly make illegal activities legal. And maybe even more importantly, it can't protect you from yourself. If you go and download a virus, or if you log into your Facebook account and tell the world who you are, well, TOR can't help you there. The big takeaway is this: TOR anonymizes your connection, but it can't anonymize your choices.
And really, this quote says it all, right? Privacy depends on how you use it. TOR gives you the infrastructure, the highway for privacy. But whether you actually stay private, that still comes down to your own behavior and your own choices. It's a powerful piece of a much bigger privacy puzzle, but it's not the whole puzzle itself. So by deliberately scrambling that connection between who you are and where you're going, TOR gives us a real powerful alternative to the internet's default setting, which is just constant tracking. And it leaves us with a really important question to think about. In a world that is literally built to track you, how are you going to choose to connect?